Welcome. Today, we are exploring one of the most profound shifts a human being can experience, the transformation of our relationships through the power of self-connection. Most of us have been taught to view relationships as a search. We look for the other half to make us whole. We look for a partner who will finally make us feel secure. The friend who will finally understand us, or the parent who will finally validate us. We treat relationships like a missing puzzle piece, believing that once we find the right one, the picture of our lives will finally be complete. But from the higher level of consciousness, we can see the flaw in this design. If you enter a relationship to find your worth, you have handed the keys of your internal kingdom to someone else. If you have made your peace a hostage to their moods, their opinions, and their presence, this is not connection. This is a hostage situation. We call it love, but often it's simply shared neediness. Self-connection is the realization that the missing piece was never missing. It was only overlooked. You are not a half circle searching another half to become a whole. You are a whole circle, a complete expression of the infinite, entering into a dance with another whole circle. When you connect with yourself first, the entire feeling of your relationships will change. The desperation leaves, the hook of needing approval totally dissolves. You stop looking at the person across from you as a source of oxygen and start seeing them as a fellow traveler. Let's look at the frequency of needing. When you need someone to be a certain way for you to be okay, you are operating from a state of lack. You are sending the signal to the universe that says, I am incomplete. And because manifestation is a mirror, you will attract people who reflect that incompleteness. You will attract fixers, or you will attract people who also need you to be a certain way to satisfy their ego. This creates a cycle of performance. You act in ways you think will keep them close. You manage their emotions. You shrink your light so they don't feel small, or you puff yourself up so they feel impressed. Emotional independence is the end of all of this performance. It is the radical realization that no one, not even the person you love most in the world, is responsible for your internal state. And you are not responsible for theirs. This sounds cold to the ego, which thrives on drama and enmeshment. But to the spirit, this is the highest form of love. When you don't need to fix me, I am finally free to actually see you. I am no longer looking at you through the lens of what can you do for me. I am looking at you through the lens of who are you. True self-worth doesn't ask for a witness. It is its own witness. When you are securely connected to the I am within you, you become unshakable. A partner's bad mood is just a passing cloud in their sky. It does not have to trigger a storm in yours. Many people fear that self-connection and emotional independence will lead to isolation. They think, if I don't need anyone, will I still have anyone? The answer is yes, but the quality of the anyone will totally change. When you are connected to yourself, your relationship boundaries become natural. They no longer are walls built of anger or fear. They are simply the clear lines of your identity. A boundary is not a threat. It is a statement of truth. It says, in this space, I am honored. In this frequency, I reside. If you wish to join me here, you're welcome. If you choose a different frequency, I love you, but I will not follow you there. Notice the lack of force in that. There is no forcing them to change. There is no waiting for them to understand. There is only the quiet certainty of your own alignment. When you stop outsourcing your safety to others, you stop being a victim of their behavior. You realize that you always have the power to choose your own resonance. This is the identity shift that changes everything. You move from a being, a reacting self, someone who is constantly bouncing off the walls of other people's choices, to a sovereign self, someone who is anchored in the deep, still waters of their own being. In a self-connected relationship, needing is replaced by allowing. Allowing is the frequency of the higher self. It is the recognition that everyone is on their own perfect path of awakening. When you allow your partner, your friend, to be exactly where they are, even if they are in pain, even if they are confused, you are honoring the infinite within them. Most of our relationships, the conflict comes from trying to correct the other person's experience. We want them to be happier or more present or more successful because their state is making us feel uncomfortable. This is not love. This is an attempt to control our own environment using them as a tool. When you are deeply connected to yourself, your discomfort is no longer a problem. You can then sit with your own feelings of loneliness or fear or frustration without needing the other person to do something to take it away. This creates a massive amount of space in the relationship. And it is in this space that true intimacy grows. Intimacy is not two people becoming one. Intimacy is two people being so comfortable in their own oneness that they can truly share their words without fear of being swallowed up. When you are in the receiving mode of a self-connected life, you stop chasing love and you realize that love is the very substance of your consciousness. You don't go out to get love, you radiate out as love. And that radiation is the most magnetic force to the universe. As your self-connection deepens, you'll notice a reorganization of your social circle. This is a natural part of high consciousness manifestation. As your frequency shifts from need into wholeness, the people who were only in your life to play out a lack dynamic will start to drift away. This can feel painful to the ego, but to the soul, it is a graduation. You are clearing space for your soul tribe, the people who meet you in the frequency of your truth, ease, and mutual respect. These are relationships where you don't have to explain yourself or be someone else. You don't have to dim your light to be accepted. You are celebrated for your expansion rather than judged for your change. But these relationships cannot appear until you have first established that relationship within yourself. Your whole external reality is a printout of your internal state. So if you want to manifest a securely attached partner, you must first become securely attached to your own beautiful, beautiful presence. You must become the person who never leaves themselves, regardless of who else walks out the door. This is the ultimate identity shift. You are the one who stays. When you know that you will never abandon you, that you will always listen to your intuition, always honor your body, and always prioritize your peace, you have become the most powerful, attractive being in the room. Not because you're perfect, but because you're home. Relationships are the classroom, but self-connection is the degree. As you move through your delightful life today, I want you to practice the internal anchor. When you are talking to someone, whether it's a stranger or a spouse, keep 50% of your attention inside your own body. Feel your breath. Feel the I am that is listening. Notice if you start to lean out toward them, seeking a certain response. When you catch yourself doing that, simply breathe and bring that energy back to your center. Say to yourself, I am here, I am whole, I am safe. You will find that the less you lean out and the more people are drawn to lean in. This is the secret to a life lived fully and freely. It's not about finding the right people. It's about being the right you. If you are ready to stop the search and start the arrival in your relationships, I am here to guide you. Book a clarity call and let's look at the hooks of attachment together. Dissolve them in the light of awareness. And download the free Clarity Shift Guide. It is your daily reminder to come home to the only connection that can ever, never be broken. You are the love you've been looking for. You are the peace you have been praying for. You are the one and only one. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. I intend this created clarity to live fully and freely. With gratitude, I'll see you soon.